Hey everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Paula. In today's video, we're going to be decorating my kitchen for the summer season. I'm going to be adding touches of coastal cottage inspired and French cottage inspired decor to my kitchen to get me in the mood for summer. If that sounds like something you'll enjoy, then stick around and let's get started. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is to start by removing all of the spring decor that I have in my kitchen. I don't really have a whole lot, but I have those cute mugs from Emma Bridgewater. I have a platter and some other odds and ends. And I went around and gathered up all of the springish items that I had and put them on my table, which is how I do my undecorating and decorating. And then I proceeded to give the countertops a good wipe down so that we are starting with a nice clean slate for my summer decorating. Now, I don't do a whole lot of summer decorating typically, but I thought it would be fun after going through all of those Pinterest pictures and getting all of that inspiration to add some elements of summer throughout my home. I'm not going to put up my patriotic decor just yet. By the time you see this, Memorial Day will have passed, so I will probably start to decorate with more of my patriotic decor as we get closer to the 4th of July. However, I am going to take out my Nora Fleming flag charm and put that in my little tray. I love using these little charms as ways to infuse my kitchen with just a touch of whatever seasonal decor is appropriate for that time of year. So I do have several different ones that I can use for summer, but I thought I would put the flag in because, as you will see, I'm going to be adding these strawberry mugs from Emma Bridgewater, which to me are classically summer. And then I'm going to get out my Susan Branch summer book and put that over there as well. And so I thought that the red, white, and blue colors of the flag complemented the colors of those decor items that I'm adding right there to the cutting boards. There's my Susan Branch summer book. I love Susan Branch. There is nothing cozier and more fun than reading through her seasonal books and looking at all the darling illustrations. She is just so clever. There's a book I want to get. I think it's called Vineyard Seasons. I think my sister Kathleen has that book, or maybe my mom. But I'm really on the hunt for that. I'm hoping to find it possibly secondhand in a used bookstore one day. All right, I'm just going to fiddle right now with my crock, and I do have some rolling pins. Two of them I think have greenish handles, but I moved the red handled one to a more prominent place in that utensil crock. And that is going to do it for the decor on that side of the stove. Now I have this darling red, white, and blue platter. We've had this little square plate probably 8 or 10 years. I think we got it when we first moved into this house about 8 years ago. So I like to have a fun little platter in front of that cutting board by my stove. Ultimately, we decided to move that teapot off to the side, or the tea kettle actually off to the side, so that you could see that little crab plate better. And then over there in the corner, I'm adding my restaurant ware platter that I thrifted not that long ago. I shared that in a haul, maybe a month or two ago. And that's really all I'm going to do for this side of the stove. We cook a lot and we like to cook, so I try not to clutter up this part of my kitchen too much. And then the final thing for this area is to swap out the decorative dish towel or towels that I hang on my oven door. And these two gorgeous chinoiserie tea towels were given to me by my sister Patty. And I love to bring them out for summer. The blue and white is just so beautiful, and it just makes me happy every time I look at them. And you see I'm fussing to get it just right. And then I will proceed to warn all of the people in my household that these towels are not to be used. They are simply for decoration. And I'll cross my fingers that they listen to me. Now you will want to stay tuned to the end of this video because I do actually swap up a few things, and I'm going to see if you can spot those changes that I made. I left that apron because I just think it is so darling, and here's a closer look at this whole side. So you've got this little red, white, and blue vignette here with the strawberry mugs and the summer book and the flag. And then as I pan down to the other side, you'll see the red handle of my rolling pin. The little crab plate over the stove I think gives such a nice little coastal touch. I do love a lot of that coastal summertime decor that I saw on Pinterest. One of you, I cannot remember who it was, let me know that a couple of the pictures that I selected from my Pinterest board were from a woman who has an account called Molly in Maine, and it is absolutely beautiful. If you go on Instagram or Pinterest, look up Molly in Maine, and the things that she shares are so incredibly beautiful. I was so inspired by all of her coastal Maine decor. It's just so pretty. I think I've mentioned this before, that my family, when I was younger, we always went to Maine in the summertime. We stayed in Wells Beach, Maine, and we just had such a great time. We camped sometimes, and then a couple times we stayed in these little tiny little beach cottages. Really such wonderful memories. All right, moving over to this little area where the espresso machine is. I'm not doing too much here because this is a tiny little space, so there's not really room to add a whole bunch of decor here. But I do want to bring in just one or two elements that give a nod to summer. So what I decided to put here is this beautiful jadeite cookie jar that I thrifted, believe it or not, for 99 cents. And I will share that in a haul video that you will see after this video, but I wanted to get it out there. So I'm giving you a sneak peek at some of the things that will be in my summertime thrift haul in my next video. I just love jadeite, and it's just such a summery feel. So that little cookie jar just gives a nod to summer. And then over here where my coffee pot is, I have put my coffee in that canister with a little ice cream cone on it. And once again, just a little nod to summer. All right, over here on this table, and this table I featured in my thrift flip video. This is the table that I got for $6.99 at Goodwill, and I refinished. And so I'm just again adding some of those pieces that I found on my Pinterest board. Those beautiful limelight hydrangeas, that shell box on the stack of books, and this gorgeous oil painting on board that I thrifted probably a year or so ago. And if I can find the video in which I shared that picture in a haul, I will link that right here as well. And there you have my little mason jar wax warmer. Again, I love this whole coastal cottage summer decor idea, and I think that these little touches on this table really evoke that sense of coastal summertime. Here's a closer look at that beautiful painting. It's an original signed piece of art, and I did not pay much at all for that. I could not believe that I found it. I think this whole little area turned out just darling. Just around the corner from that table, I have this little blue cabinet, and on it I have a plant in this beautiful South Carolina sweetgrass basket that is just stunning. That is made by the Gullah people here in South Carolina. These women make these gorgeous baskets, and it just has pride of place in our house. What I added here was this big glass jar that I filled with shells we collected from the beach, once again giving a nod to that coastal cottage summertime decor. And I think this is such a fun way to just remember your time at the beach, and it goes perfectly with that beautiful sweetgrass basket. So let's take a big picture look at the kitchen and see if you can spot one change that I've made already. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with a tray on my countertop, or a platter. Do you see a change here? I did end up adding this really lovely jadeite refrigerator box to the top of the coffee maker. I have a few spoons and different things in there, and I think it just adds a little more jadeite and a little bit more summer feeling to that corner. Over here, this all stayed the same. I love those strawberry mugs. I was so excited to get those. I got those on clearance last year. Aren't they darling? I love Emma Bridgewater. Her pottery is just so beautiful. I did a whole video, which I will link, not a whole video, but part of a video, which I will link in the iCards and also in the description box, about the Emma Bridgewater factory, which is in Stoke-on-Trent, England. All right, do you spot the big change? This platter we call Crawford because that crab is named Crawford. The kids named him that. And he's actually a platter that we put out every single summer. And so when I put out the red and white platter instead of Crawford, that did not go over with everybody. They all were like, "Where's Crawford? We need Crawford." So I replaced the red and white platter with Crawford. Over here, I have just a few items. That beautiful cake dome, that metal cake dome that I thrifted. That's another spoiler alert. That will be in a thrift haul coming up. And then over here on this little wine bar area, I did not really do anything different. I added this little watercolor that I thrifted that is a beautiful bucolic summer scene, my gorgeous hydrangea napkins, and then there's the lamp that I did a little thrift flip on in the same video that I did the table in. All right, here's another look at that beautiful cake tin. And then off to the right, you can see my plate wreath with the blue and white plates. Again, that was also in a recent thrift flip video. I'll try to remember to link all of those videos in the iCards as well as the description box. So if you're interested and you haven't seen them, you can go back and check them out. But that is what I've done so far in my kitchen area. I want to thank you for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed watching me decorate my kitchen for summer. I will be adding more touches throughout my house, and as I do that, I will share that, as well as I will share my patriotic decor when I do that. Well, if you enjoyed watching me decorate for summer, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. leave me a comment. That really helps out our channel. And if you don't want to leave a comment, but you want to let me know you've been watching, go ahead and leave me some kind of an emoji in the comments section. A beach ball, a flag, a lemon, whatever. All right, everybody, here are a couple more videos you can watch until our next upload. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.